He's just not interested. Sorry to have to tell you.
The Roads Minister, Robert Key, a keen supporter of motor travel, has told an international cycling conference in Nottingham that it's no longer a poor relation form of transport.
Robert Key cut a less than convincing figure when he arrived at the conference, not surprisingly, bearing in mind that last month he declared that he loved roads and cars. But today he insisted cycling's no longer a poor relation means of urban transport. He says he wants to see people-friendly bikes allowed to reach their full potential.
Cycling is an important form of transport. We want to work with local authorities, employers, cycling organisations to bring about the improved conditions that will make cycling a safe and attractive way of travelling.
The Transport Department points to new traffic calming measures, such as speed humps and chicanes on quiet suburban roads, as proof of its commitment to the interests of cyclists. But critics say this is just lip service. While money to pay for new motorways is guaranteed, there isn't any extra cash for local councils' cycle schemes.
It's not unfair to put the onus on the local authorities because what the Minister said, that most cycle journeys are within 5 miles and therefore you're using local road networks, that is true. It's a question of whether one's prepared to put money where one's mouth is.
The trouble with cycle lanes is that they're 3 feet wide, and on crowded city roads, motorists must allow the same again as a safety margin. In effect, it means losing a full traffic lane for car drivers. And Britain has 11 million cyclists for 23 million car owners.
Very good.
Today, Robert Key was unable to spend as long as he'd have liked at the Velo City Conference. He had another engagement, unveiling a new scheme for a super motorway between Greater Manchester and Huddersfield. Christopher Wayne, BBC News.
Mercury has launched a direct challenge to British Telecom. Free calls to private users in the Greater London area at certain times of day and at the weekends. The move will intensify the battle for domination of a highly competitive industry. All the companies involved see attracting more private users as the key to expanding their business.
Mercury's one-to-one mobile phone service represents a full frontal assault on the existing market. In a bid to undercut both Vodafone and British Telecom's Cellnet, Mercury is to offer subscribers free local calls in the evenings and at weekends for an indefinite period. It's a move which Mercury's owners, Cable and Wireless and America's US West, hope will transform the mobile phone into a mass market product.
When the telephone service started off nearly 100 years ago, a few houses in London were joined together. Whoever thought the day would come when almost every house in the country had a telephone? Well, in a few years' time, I suspect most people will be carrying these as they're carrying wristwatches.
Although some form of cheap call charging was expected, Mercury's offer of free off-peak calls came as a surprise. The reaction from competitors, however, has been sceptical. They point instead to the scale of the other charges involved in subscribing to one-to-one.
It will be very expensive for the average customer of BT or other people in the marketplace. It will mean that customers face 90% increase in rental charges. They've got to lob out £250 to £300 on a handset. And the rest of their calls, apart from the cheap rate off-peak, will be significantly more expensive.
At present, one-to-one is available only in the London area, and the free call offer is open only to private rather than business users. But investors appear to have taken fright at today's news. On the stock market, shares in Cable and Wireless have fallen 23 pence. Simon Cox, BBC News.
The publicity hype is closer to that of a heavyweight boxing match or any tennis match involving John McEnroe. In fact, it's about the world's slowest non-contact sport, chess. But the two contenders for the World Chess Championship are presenting it as a grudge match. Garry Kasparov is the reigning champion and his British challenger is Nigel Short. The game may be all in the mind, but the abuse being exchanged is anything but intellectual. And £1.5 million is at stake.
London's Savoy Theatre made its name staging Gilbert and Sullivan, but at matinee time this afternoon, a heavyweight drama starts a marathon 6-week run with the opening of the most high-profile chess battle since Fischer against Spassky 20 years ago. The more so because Nigel Short is the first Briton to challenge for the title, and Garry Kasparov is reckoned by most to be the greatest player of all time. What's more, regardless of the hype, they've got little time for each other.
Kasparov does not advertise his links in the past with the Communist Party.
But the champion maintains a dismissive air about his opponent.
I don't think that anybody can take seriously the accusations from the English boy, you know, who never lived through what I lived and my compatriots.
For Short, a child prodigy who was British champion at only 12, he's just 24 gruelling matches away from his burning ambition to be the world's best. But he's beaten Kasparov only once in 16 meetings, so what realistically are his chances?
He's got a fighting chance, a real chance. Let's remember that he beat Karpov, Kasparov's long-time opponent, by a bigger margin than Kasparov ever managed to beat him, and he's well prepared, he's really, really mentally tough, and he's raring to go, so of course he's got a chance.
For Short and Kasparov, there's more at stake than just the world title. There's the whole future of their breakaway movement. Though they're undeniably the best in the world, this is still a fledgling unofficial championship. Must capture the public imagination if it's to succeed in the long term. The official but now devalued World Championship is being held in Holland between Karpov and Jan Timman, both soundly beaten by Short in the qualifiers. So far it's upstaged what's really the supreme contest only in the tackiness of its opening ceremony. Any such trivia has long since been exorcised from the mind of Nigel Short, concentrated now exclusively on the 6 weeks of gripping struggles ahead. Kevin Geary, BBC News.
And now at 27 minutes past 1, the main news again. The 2 Libyans accused of the Lockerbie bombing have hired a Scottish lawyer, increasing the possibility of a trial in this country. The government wants to simplify the regulations overrunning private old people's homes. Labour says deregulation could spell disaster. President Mubarak of Egypt has said that there could be a recognition deal between the PLO and Israel in the next 48 hours. And that's it this Tuesday lunchtime from the 1 o'clock news team. A very good afternoon.
A very good afternoon to you. I think we're all going to be in need of some umbrellas as we go through the rest of this week. The weather's turning very much more unsettled now, as you would expect with low pressure on the doorstep. And that's going to drift its way slowly northwards over the next 2 or 3 days, bringing strong winds and bringing a lot of heavy showers of rain to most of us. It's already throwing up some strong winds across the southwest, across Wales, across into Ireland too. Those winds getting up to gale force from time to time and pushing up some rain too. You can see that pushing northwards across Ireland this morning into Wales across the southwest. And if we get in a little bit closer, you can see the rain over the southwest of England at the moment, stretching right across into central and western parts of Wales, albeit fairly patchy. There are some drier interludes, and that rain pushing northwards into central and southern parts of Ireland as well. And this is how it'll be stretching in the next hour or two, with gale force winds coming in with it as well. But it's not all like that. Over on the eastern side, in East Anglia and the southeast, through the East Midlands up towards northwest England, there's still a good deal of sunshine, although further north than that, a fair amount of cloud. And on eastern parts of Scotland, northeast England, that cloud thickening up, I think, as we go through the afternoon. At the same time, the rain continuing to push further northeast, perhaps getting across in towards the London area later through the afternoon or into the evening, by which time I think a little bit of brighter weather will be feeding into the southwest, brighter but still with a lot of showers. Temperatures today, quite a wide variation, up as high as 20, 21 degrees in the sunshine, but becoming increasingly cold as the winds start freshening up along that northeastern coast. And then tonight, with the rain, with the strong winds continuing to ease its way further northwards, still a lot of showers, I think, further south, and a very warm, very muggy night in the south too. Tomorrow, the rain continuing to work its way a little bit further north, the heaviest of the rain through the border, through northern parts of Ireland, a lot of showers further south, and really not a great deal of change as we go through into Thursday and indeed Friday. Warm and humid in the south, but sunshine and a lot of heavy showers for most of us. That's it. Bye-bye for now.
England versus Poland. The battle for World Cup glory has never been so tough. The qualifying game England can't afford to lose. Sportsnight kicks back into action with highlights of the crucial clash. England versus Poland in Sportsnight, tomorrow at 10:20 on BBC1.
Not forgetting mother-in-law.
Nice to see you, Bet.
He's getting better at that, isn't he? What's that? A lobotomy. Want one?
Model Family. 2.4 children. Back tonight, 8:30 on BBC1.
In 20 minutes, Henry Kelly introduces the 6th quarter-final in the European quiz, Going for Gold. First on BBC1, someone's tugging at Beth's heartstrings in Neighbours.
not really interested in music.
Well, the problem is he's still in love with Lucy.
But they've broken up.
Even so, Brad reckons he can't have a relationship with anyone else. He's just not interested.